because we're taking a look at what you have to say about the stories right now. And Bukola, of course, joins me to walk through your comments online. Bukola.
Yes, indeed. Well done, Kayode. And the trends today show a mixture of wit, a mixture of self-awareness, and of course, you know, maybe some Oliver twist, you know, to government from Nigerians demanding more, more in terms of good governance, particularly following the suspension of the cybersecurity levy.
And rightfully so.
But one of the stories, you know, of course, that gets my attention is the Minister of Women Affairs intervention on the bid by the Speaker of the Niger State Assembly to marry off 100 orphans, I believe, who were orphaned as a result of banditry in the state. You know, well-intentioned, but that move also speaks to, you know, how our actions and decisions are still informed by the dictates of culture, religion, and tradition. Of course, the Speaker said that you know, traditional rulers and religious rulers were conducted, but you know, leadership could also
on this one.
Yeah, but it could also have been deployed to the extent that the funds and resources that were planned for that intervention would also have been used to send those children to school, help them have a say in their future, particularly because they are girls. And you know that when you educate one girl, you educate a nation.
Absolutely.
It's important, you know, to mention that.
So let's get into what you're saying first about the cybersecurity levy, which the government has now suspended. It's been very controversial. Absolutely. This first one is from Exodus Niger, and the question this user is asking is, suspended? Oh, yes. When are they going to cancel it completely? That's what this user has to say. Nigeria doesn't need this at all, believes. We're already overtaxed as it is. Total cancellation is what we ask. There you have it.
And from there, Sunday for 40 cast, I believe, moves on to demand a lot more as far as other issues are concerned, and one of which is the most important. They say they should suspend fuel subsidy and solve the economic hardships Nigerians are going through.
Well, there's another angle to this, and it's from Usbem92, and it's another question. Where is the memo to that effect? The announcement was made by CBN, not FG, so it should follow the same channel. Well, I understand that point, but come on. I mean, it'll be an absurdity for the CBN to then go on and implement this. It's meant to start
the
up
announcement
next week.
came from a meeting following the Federal Executive Council.
But yeah, absolutely.
But it's instructive, you know, and it shows the huge level of distrust that is between, you know, the leaders and the governed. So perhaps all he's asking is a memo from the Ministry of Finance to the CBN, and from the CBN onward, stating the suspension. Okay, this one is from Yusuf Bamidele. You've taken that.
Absolutely.
So we're moving on to the next talking point, which is former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele faces fresh charge over printing of the naira. Remember that allegation about the printing of, you know, some naira, you know, with the cost amounting to a lot more. And this first one is from Sherlock Einstein, who says, a delightful twist in the ongoing saga of financial mismanagement. It seems like Mr. Emefiele just can't catch a break when it comes to allegations of questionable monetary practices.
Well, Shagari Tobe with some figures as this next one, and it says it seems this government is hell-bent on keeping this man perpetually in detention. It goes on to say, I would have loved if the same treatment meted out to all those stole from government coffers. It says it seems like some have some sort of political underpinnings. So yeah, that's what this user has to say.
Well, to another talking point now. ASUU gives federal government 2 weeks ultimatum, threatens nationwide strike.
Well,
and
they're trying to make a decisive action, really. So it could be an industrial action. It could be something else. It could be a meeting. But we know what that means a lot, so you can imagine why people are thinking.
And you know, when ASUU sneezes, it's students that catch cold, really, more often than not. So they're speaking up already. This first one is from Precious, who says, our government should please take education serious. Youths are the leaders of tomorrow. I'd say the leaders of today, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's no gain saying that. I think it's just obvious. This one goes on to say, that's a Noni_HR. Parents go send Peking go school for 4 years. Peking go day school 6 years and never graduate because of ASUU and FG fight. It says essentially students are meant to complete their, you know, the usual course in 4 years, but sometimes it takes 6 years because of the usual back and forth between ASUU. So this user is again saying, I mean, another day, the usual drama.
Well, this next one is from X Times, who says, it just has 2 lines. I thought after increasing the fees, the federal government will make available funding for universities. Well, I guess this is in reference to the education loan, which has not, commenced in terms of disbursement. Weeks after.
Quite a number of things that we're still waiting for: the education loan, the credit facility, and some others. We understand that there's meant to be the benefits too for unemployed. That's still a bill. But while this is ongoing, let's just say that there are 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks till ASUU takes decisive action. So for the federal and state government, they have 2 weeks to make a decision and at least bring ASUU to the table, have a conversation, so we don't keep plummeting when it comes to our education. We have fantastic minds in our country. But let's move to another trend which has been making the rounds. And this one concerns access to our airports. Well, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, after the FEC meeting, said that now everyone or no one is exempted from paying to access airports, including the president and the vice president. So Nigerians have been saying quite a number of things. I'll begin from El Bame. He says, this won't change the fact that things cost. This won't affect the price of goods in the market. Right.
I told you, Kayode. It wouldn't affect the price of tomatoes.
So this is the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, not the Minister of Agriculture. So you'd expect that the decisions made by him or the approvals given would affect the aviation. But guess what? It would actually affect, particularly for, I'm not doing the explanation. Let the ministry do the explanation, please. I'm not going to do that this morning.
Well, Kayode, I understand this viewers' comments.
Right.
Is it going to increase the amount of money that comes into your bank account, for instance, if the president pays? The president should pay, but if the president pays his toll gate fee...
It should.
It should.
Because my account, well, Nigeria's account is my account by extension, our account. So if the airport is making more money, because if you go to the airport, you see people just come with convoys and they just go through. They'll tell you from government house, or tell you from this person, and they just go through, and I'm talking 3, 4, 5 big vehicles. But you see the average Nigerian in a taxi having to pay. And this is something I have witnessed time and again. So fantastic. We look forward to seeing how much this will improve the revenue generated by the airport infrastructure and all of that. So
well, it's difficult to argue with Kayode. I just have to align with you on that one.
I'm doing the job of the ministry, but it's okay. I think that makes sense. Really.
Okay, so we have the first comment from Ibn El Bamayi, who says...
I take the first one, so let's take the second one.
The second one is from Bonnet de Geu. I hope I got your name correctly. This is very wrong. The president must have and enjoy some privilege. There goes your argument, Kayode. That must have and enjoy some privileges. Will the president also queue in a motorway hold-ups?
I don't think anybody said anything about a queue. It's just paying to access the airport. But again, let us move on. I'm not going to be doing the job of someone else this morning. Incredible Human is the final one we'll take on this one. It says, cut down your entourage and limit your traveling. Tollgate is something no one has complained about. The ones we complain about, you don't do it. So stop traveling with a lot of people on taxpayers' money. It is simple.
Yeah, and as we custom on that one, we also wrap up, on the trends.
Essentially. Yeah. So we'll take this as our final one, basically, but that is by no means the end of your contribution to the show. So keep them coming on X and on WhatsApp. We're live for you right here on the Morning Brief, and we're taking up our very first conversation. It's one that you don't want to miss. So stay with us right here on the Morning Brief.